Hello once again, let's talk tiling today. What I want to do is to show you how easy it is in Fusion to tile walls in particular areas and also tiling on floors. What I want to be able to do is to tile from the side of this fridge freezer housing up to the corner, from the corner out across. But because I've made it extra thick walls, this will actually tile inside the window reveal automatically for you. So let's just talk about what, where and how. I'm going to go from here across and down. Well, I need to know my starting position from the left hand side. Well, that's quite easy. If I were to turn on annotate and item setting and choose to dimension base units, it tells me now that it's 1300 from the left hand side to the start of the fridge freezer housing plus 600, so therefore I want 1900. Well, I can now turn the dimensions off. So now what I need to do is to click on that wall. That's the wall I want to choose to tile. Tiling's found in the Insert tab. I'm selecting here, just along where you've been working, Catalog Items, Auto Features, we've now got coverings. There is Standard Wall. Basically that covers from left to right and top to bottom, not too many choices. But Advanced Wall tiling is extraordinarily flexible. You'll notice floor and ceiling are not highlighted because we're not talking to the floor. So selecting Advanced Wall, and this turns on an elevation in color. And right now we're going to be adding a zone. Now zones are controlled up in this area. Zones are coverings of tiles. We have no covering in here, we have no zone, so we're going to choose new. It's asking me where I want to set these things up. So I'm asking now in Advanced Tiling Zone to finish at the top of the wall unit. I want to lift the tiles not from the floor, but I want to start from the worktop. And this allows me then to ask the software a little bit later on to count the square meterage and also the number of tiles. Truly amazing. But the only thing I'm left to do now is to select 1900. That's my starting point from the left hand side. I simply select OK, and there is my zone. Now my zone is then available and I can manipulate that zone. I'm just going to tell it that that's the zone I want to work with, and these are my shaping tools. I can stretch the edge from left to right, top to bottom. I could cut one corner off. I could perhaps extrude around a cooker hood, for instance. Well, this is a tool I'm interested in today. I'm going to use that tool. I'm going to click on that little red dot there and drag my mouse down to around the wall unit. And again, this point here, I'm just choosing to drag around, and there you can see I've got a, what would we call it, an inverted T perhaps. Well, finished with that tool, I can deselect it. The zone is no longer red, it's considering what, where and how. I want to actually color that tile, so I'm going to select that zone, and this tool in here, modify, becomes active. What it does is to read the tiling catalog. Now I've on this laptop got a few choices. I'm going to switch from Candy tiles to Fusion tiles, and that allows me in Fusion to select color and size grout. I'm going to today select a 200 by 100 tile, and this is my mixing palette. I want to add, and it suggests some tiles at that size, and I can click on a particular tile, or I could have chosen my own surface coverings, could have imported other tiles that aren't within the Fusion catalog, but I'm happy with Metro Black and I'm choosing OK. Well, this is the mixing palette, and I could actually come in here and mix those colors up. Not sure that that's the best choice. However, having chosen that Metro Red, I can also delete it. Is 200 by 100? Well, if I were to put 45 in here, this is what it does. It diagonally changes the tiles. It's not what I want today. I want to keep it at 0. So I'm choosing now Metro Black. Here it is. But I've got further choices to make. This is a plain pattern tile. One that might suit in here is brick. There's my brick. We have other choices in here as well, but brick is perfect for this. Now I want to select my grout. Perhaps with that I might go and choose silver grey. I can thicken or thin both vertical and horizontal grout lines, but having chosen that, I'm pretty happy with that. I'm going to simply select OK, and there are my tiles with my silver grey grouting. Well, having done what I need to do to this wall, I'm going to confirm that choice. It will give me back the floor plan, and all I need now to do is to select this wall, go back up to coverings, advanced wall covering, and I need to select a zone. Remember, it's all about zones. Where I want the tile to finish, well, I'm going to go up as far as a light rail, and I do want it to start from the worktop height. The left and right can be left because I want the whole wall to be tiled. So there it is. It's actually remembered the tile zone and the color of the choice already. I can confirm that. And all I need to do now is to go back to perspective and show you exactly what's been tiled. There they are. Truly amazing, even within the window reveal and the window sill, because that is the way Fusion works. I can choose to ignore the windowsill if we want to. But I can hear you saying, what about the floor? Well, if I were to now just remind you to be able to change anything on the floor, I must be in perspective. I've left clicked on the floor, so back up to insert, coverings, and this time floor and ceiling are actually active. I want to choose floor. And there is my existing floor as it was a moment ago, just there. So this is my mixing palette. And don't forget that these are reading candy. If I go back to perhaps Fusion Tiles and come within this area and select now 300 by 300, and here's my mixing palette. I can add them, and maybe I want to go in there and choose Regal Rock Black and select that one. I could also, not that it's very advisable, but I could also mix the palette up, coming in here and choosing any one of these, but I want to keep it simple. But I could, just for the sheer fun of it, change those tiles to 45 degrees. There's my zone being modified now. I could come and use these tools to stretch back if I want to, but I'm happy with that. I'm simply going to confirm my choice. And here comes my newly tiled walls and floors, all in at 45 degrees. But that's not all. If we remain within the covering area and drop down here and calculate, it's asking, would you like to group all these things together for me to calculate them? I've suggested yes. It only takes a moment or two, but there we are. We've got ourselves a number of square meterage. Metro Black 200 by 100, and in here 3 square meters. I could also tick this box and then it will show me 246 tiles. Just one small reminder for you that it doesn't allow for wastage. Perhaps the trade call for 10% on wall and 15% on floor. Now, just let's suppose we want to modify any one of these zones. All I need to do, perhaps click on the floor, go back up to coverings, select floor, or I could remove. If I go into floor, it allows me to modify them. And there is my tile. I'm going to click on that zone and I want to modify it. Remove the 45 back to a 0, and my tiles then resort back to a natural pattern, and here I can choose confirm. And there we have it, tiling made very easy within Fusion. And I hope you'd enjoyed this masterclass, because there are a lot more available.